Hi guys, it's Dr. Juicy Jill, and I'm here to help get you ready for summer. So, how many of you are ready to get into your bathing suits today and hit the beach? One of the most important things that I try and teach people is rather than getting ready, being ready and staying ready so that you're always ready. It's not necessarily just fitting into your bathing suit and looking great on the beach. It's actually feeling the best you possible. So, some of the tips and tricks that I suggest to people are really basic, but they really pack a punch and give you amazing results. So, when you wake up to the more vibrant you actually are more motivated to do the things that are going to keep you in shape. And I also speak to people about it's not just looking great, feeling great, having great sex. It's actually being present for your life, being active with your partner, with your children, with your colleagues, with anything that you do. And it starts, from the inside out. So, some of the really simple things that I talk to people about is, everything you put in your mouth creates a reaction. And gut health is so important for absorbing your own vitamins, nutrients, and hormones. So, things that people think are healthy may actually be working against you and causing more inflammation. So, things that to stay away from, and I'm not saying, do some drastic diet. This is real food, real life. So there are the meal delivery services that make it a little bit easier, but I really try and teach people to listen to the signals that their body sends after they eat, which will help them transition away from the things that are not great for them and towards the things that are great for them. If I talk to people about, hey, cut this out, cut that out, it's so overwhelming. And I want this to be sustainable. I want it to be enjoyable. So many people are just really eating out of boredom, or they're fatigued, or emotional eating. And we really should be looking at food as fuel. So, some of the things to really try and minimize out of your diet and cut out, because it causes so much inflammation and also creates water retention and weight, is gluten, wheat, and dairy. So things like bread, pasta, tortillas, milk, yogurt, and dairy. Now, I know everybody's probably freaking out, like, how am I going to survive? What am I going to do to replace those things? Like I said, this is not a drastic, I expect you to clean up everything overnight, but just notice that after you have bread or pasta, you feel tired, you feel crabby, you feel bloated or more gassy, or even more emotional. These are things that messages that your body is sending that it does not like what that created. And then deeper, it creates inflammation in your plaques, in your arteries and veins, that cause plaque formation, which then increase your risk for heart attack and stroke. So listen to the signals your body sends, and as much as you can, try and eliminate those things from your diet. Now, in the meantime, what I really try and do is set people up for success. So I never take things away. I add things to their diet that actually will create pretty quick results. And creating that body awareness is most impactful, more impactful than me saying, hey, just cut that out and you'll lose weight. When you listen, when you learn to listen to your own body signals and say, oh, I don't feel really great after I have that, you're going to stay away from that. And that's more impactful than me telling you to stay away from it. So, first thing in the morning is the most important time, because that's when your gut is needing to be prepared for the day for what you're going to feed it. So the more you can settle your gut so you can absorb your vitamins, nutrients, and hormones, the better. So your gut actually contains 80 to 90% of your serotonin and dopamine receptors. So happy, healthy gut makes a happy, healthy person. So first thing I recommend, either one of these in either order, is warm lemon water. It helps to really settle any inflammation, also takes away any extra fluid. The other thing I highly recommend, which is great for water weight, fluid retention, hydration, and overall inflammation, is celery juice. So just a full big bunch of celery and 1 cup of water in a blender. You don't need a fancy juicer, and strain it and have that first thing in the morning. Again, it really settles your gut. It's very hydrating and has extremely beneficial anti-inflammatory effects. I actually had a woman last week who is 68, I believe. And after 2 days of the celery juice, she has her whole family converted to it, and her knee pain is gone. The knee pain that is from all the dancing that she's doing now, because she feels so much more alive and awake from her hormonal awakening. So these are 2 things to add first thing in the morning before you have your coffee or your tea. It's a little bit of a, time. It's not very time consuming, but what you can do is cut up your celery the night before so it's ready to go first thing in the morning. So it's an extra, 5 minutes of your day to really help with any of that belly bloat, overall weight, and just overall sense of well-being. And do this every day. You can add, if you're traveling, that's very dehydrating, so you can actually do the celery juice more than once a day. And I'll put a link in here for all the medical benefits. For medicalmedium.com, he talks about all of the overall health benefits for celery juice, and it really is truly amazing. So the next thing I do with my coffee, if you have coffee or tea or even just the warm lemon water, is to add some MCT oil. MCT is medium chain triglyceride, and it's the healthy fat that we need to actually absorb our vitamins, nutrients, and hormones, but it crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it gives you more mental clarity and alertness so you can be more alive and present. But the other thing it does is it literally melts the fat away. It is called thermogenic, so your body has to actually burn calories to digest it. So adding all of these things to your morning routine will create pretty much instantaneous results. And if you continue it throughout your life, it just will continue to add on and add on. So again, you'll start feeling more vibrant, more motivated to do things, and you'll be more motivated to cut those bad things out of your diet. The other thing is sugar. Sugar is really toxic to us and creates, big spikes in energy and then lulls in energy, which then makes us want to crave more. So, and people think about sugars as candies and cakes and things like that, but it's actually carbohydrates. Your body converts carbohydrates to sugar. So things that are starchy, like starchy vegetables, starchy fruits, like bananas, have a ton of carbohydrates and a ton of sugar. So your fruits are all sugar, and some of them are okay, but basically the rule of thumb is the sweeter the fruit, the more sugar there is. So eating berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, green apples, they have lower sugar. So those would be things to have. And then the other important thing is when you are having those sugars, to slow down the sugar absorption by adding a little bit of fat. So having some almonds or some almond butter or some avocado, those are the healthy fats. It helps to slow the absorption of the sugar so you don't get the big spikes, which then cause you to crave more. So the other big culprit of weight gain, particularly the muffin top, are 2 things: cortisol and testosterone. So our cortisol hormone is our stress hormone that we need for when we're being chased by a bear, but we're not always being chased by a bear. And when we constantly are multitasking, our levels get really high, and then we convert to sugar and we get the muffin top. So that's why I also recommend for your morning practice to add some meditation. Meditation does not have to be hard, doesn't have to be 20 minutes. You can start with 2 minutes. Literally set your timer for 2 minutes, put on some meditation music and close your eyes and just concentrate. Your brain is a muscle that you need to work and flex as well. So the Mayo Clinic actually shows studies that meditation reduces inflammation. So whether your cortisol levels are too high or too low, it helps to get it so it's just right. The other thing is testosterone. Testosterone isn't just for men, it's for women, and it helps with that sexiness, juiciness, and sex drive, but it also helps with our muffin top and our muscle tone and our energy and our drive to actually be motivated to do other things. Now, ways to boost your testosterone would be through bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, through a specialist like myself, but other natural ways to get a boost. You won't necessarily get the boost to take you to optimal levels, but it will help, is high intensity interval training. Pick an activity that you like. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's biking, whether it's just like power walking, whether it's swimming, CrossFit, things like that. Hi, Portal. Thank you. Thanks for the message. Just get moving, and that helps to reboot your own testosterone levels. Other things that people don't really think of is, get a hula hoop. Have some fun doing it. It's actually great exercise. You can get your heart rate up. You can do it with your kids. You can do dance, any type of dance. You can do it at home. You can just turn on some music and do dance. You can do something called ecstatic dance, which is, really getting into the more spiritual mindfulness. So you're actually getting like a 2-for-1. You're rebooting your cortisol and you're getting the calorie burning. So choose something that you like and kind of switch it up. Because if you're bored with your regimen, if you don't look forward to your workouts, you're not going to do them. So these are a few ways to really just kickstart your weight loss regimen and optimizing your health regimen that are sustainable. And eventually, like I said, eliminating gluten, wheat, sugar, dairy from your diet, or really minimizing it, it's going to be an easy thing. It's going to become part of your lifestyle. But first you need to feel better. So doing these things, like I said, to your morning routine, that's going to give you that energy, that mental clarity to actually have the motivation to make these changes. So I hope this was helpful, and I wish you a happy, amazing, juicy day.